Well, do you know what's going to be on your ballot come November 8th? I'm willing to bet among the issues, the levies, and of course presidential candidates, you're also going to see a few judicial candidates. I'm also willing to bet most of you don't know a whole lot about those names. So our legal expert Scott Smith of Smith Law Office is here to help. Always good to see you, Scott.
Good to see you, Robin. Thank you.
All right, you're not going to tell us who to vote for, obviously. We're not here to kind of push anything on people, but we do want to let them know how they can find out who the best choice is, right? And I think a lot of times we don't even know who's going to be on the ballot. We don't even know the names that are in our area. So how do we go about starting to say, okay, these are the people I got to look into?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit before, Robin. That is, number one, your most important powers as a citizen is to sit on a jury and to vote. So you take that seriously. So who to vote for? You don't know. Ask someone who's been in front of them. Another thing you can do is check the bar associations. A third thing to do is look at the candidates and see who's contributed to their funds, how they're going to spend their money on commercials.
Okay.
If you follow the monetary contributions, you might see who it is that supports them. Is it big business and insurance? Is it consumers? It gives you a little bit of a hint.
Okay, yeah, that's good advice. All right, and we can find out who's going to be on the ballot in the first place through the Board of Elections, right? I mean, that can kind of give you those names to even look up.
You can internet, Google, Yahoo, whatever you want to do, and look for judicial candidates. And when you do that, you'll find that there are services offered of comparing the judges who are running. They may be biased services, but at least you get started. It's easy, you can look it up, and you get an idea who's running.
How do we find, or can we even find, their sentencing records, where they stood on certain issues, certain cases? Is that available to the public?
It's all public record in state court. You can go online, go to the court system, do a public record search, a Freedom of Information Act search, if you want to go that far. And you look up the judges, and they'll show you how they have ruled on criminal cases as well as civil cases.
And that can be tricky because we assume that a judge is going to be impartial, right? So this is something that I think just points out the importance of people getting in there, doing their research, and looking into this, right?
That is absolutely correct. We'd like to presume they're going to be impartial. They say they're going to be impartial, but that is not reality.
Yeah.
There are certain judges that have a way of going one direction or the other. It's your duty to find out. Ask somebody who's in front of them every day. Ask someone like me who knows the judges and magistrates. We'll tell you which way they go. You make your decision.
And a lot of times we know maybe based on a party we support, right? We see somebody that's in either party and we say, okay, maybe they make those decisions based on that. But that's not always the case either.
That is not always the case. And in fact, on most ballots, you're not going to see if they're an R or a D. You're going to see a name. You're going to see two names. Some judges are running unopposed, Robin, which I find very baffling. Our Chief Justice is running unopposed. I don't know why she's running unopposed. But of those that are being opposed, you should check out both of their track records. Bar associations will give you the idea. Going online, reading about the judges, that'll give you an idea, or ask somebody.
And I mean, you know, going into the ballot box, you're sitting there with these names, and the people that run opposed, you just kind of click on them. You don't know anything about them. You should still be able to stand behind your vote, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you do that research and feel confident before you go in there?
Voting is so important, Robin. As citizens, we get to sit on a jury, which is absolutely important, and we get to vote. Voting is important. Don't let it go. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, get out and vote. Find out who you're voting for, because that decision that they make, whether you're in front of them or not, will affect you as a citizen in everything you do.
All right, so any other recommendations when we choose judges, Scott, before we go in there on November 8th?
Get knowledge.
Okay.
Get some knowledge. Find out something about them that'll give you an idea. If you walk in there and not know a Johnson from a Jones, it's not going to help you.
All right, definitely good advice. Scott from Scott Smith Law Office, thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin.